Hey guys, today's video is going to be talking about a game series that I'm sure you guys have recently heard about, and one that should be having some awareness spread on it, especially if you're a new fan or you've been like a fan of the series, but you haven't like played all the games. And that here, of course, as you can see, Armored Core. As we all saw the announcement, I'm sure Armored Core 6 it is making a comeback as it appeared at the Game Awards. And yeah, this was, From Software's like premiere series before the Dark Souls games. Like before they made Demon Souls, like this was their main series that they made. That this series it has had about like 14 games total, where which Armored Core 6 is going to be the 15th entry in this series. And of course, as the case with most From Software's older games, they didn't get the popularity or the recognition that they deserved until they made Dark Souls, of course, where then people started paying attention to them because that series became super successful. And look where they are nowadays with Elden Ring, especially with how much that game has sold. And they also won Game of the Year as well at the Game Awards recently, too. So they have a lot of public attention here, of course. So, with all that said, as stated before, Armored Core has had 14 entries in this series, and this was From Software's bread and butter, essentially. So I'm sure a lot of people are definitely interested in this IP, especially since Armored Core 6 reveal is probably a lot of people's first introduction to this series. So, as of course, as expected, they probably want to go back and play the games to see if it's something that they would like. Well, that's going to be a little difficult if you want to go and get the original games. Because if we look at price chart, well, first we'll see like price charting here. So you can see this is all of the Armored Core games that was released on PS1. Except this one, this H-Tech re-release, that's just like a reprint of Armored Core 1. So you can see prices for these games complete in box. They're up there, yeah, almost to like $100 as you can see here, which that's kind of been the price point that the games have been for a while, like ever since like 2020 COVID pricing on the game industry. That's kind of where they've been at. Same for PS2 here, as you can see with some of these prices, with Nexus, Ninebreaker being up there, and then the PS3 here, the everything but Verdict Day is like it's okay in pricing, but Verdict Day, this was the last game in the series that we got. That I think it came out in 2013, if I recall, and that kind of shows with the pricing right there of it, $65. Well, if we go over to eBay, you can see current listings of some of the games for like North American releases, right? Ignore the Japanese versions right here because, most people want English versions of these games because that's the most common language across the world, of course. Armored Core 5, PS3, $200. If you recall, we just saw Armored Core 5, $35, according to price charting. Let's go back here. Armored Core 4, $200 as well. Mind you, I picked this game up right here at my local game store here in Michigan, it was like a month ago for $10. And look at the pricing of it now, for at least for this one just posted listing on eBay here. That's quite insane. Armored Core 2, 20 bids are right now at $55. By the way, Armored Core 2, fun fact, it was a launch title for the PS2, I recently learned, so that's kind of cool. But Armored Core 2 has always been like a $20 game. It has jumped up a little bit here, but I remember seeing it used to be like a $15, $20 game though. And it's safe to say this is going to keep going up here. So, yeah, you probably get the picture. A lot of the older games, they are going up in value here, especially PlayStation versions, because just most people prefer those, because the Xbox stuff is still just worthless to a lot of people still. So, yeah, as you could probably see, many of the games, they are starting to go up in value. In fact, if we sort this by sold items, we can see, well, mainly just a bunch of Japanese versions, but Right here, Nine Breaker, $140 recently. Factory sealed 157 for the Xbox. But not a lot of listings have been showing up for certain games. Like, let's real quick here. Let's disable this. Let's look up. Let's see, Verdict Day, since that was the last one on PS3. All right here, the PAL version, Japanese version, sealed a copy NTSC. Japanese version still up there. Japanese 100. So you can probably see there's not a lot of North American copies here. So what I'm guessing what's happening is right now, the recording of this video, a lot of copies that have been up on eBay for like the last month or so, they have been getting bought up real fast because there's a lot of interest in this series now thanks to Armored Core 6 announcement, and therefore you're now seeing new listings that are being like this right here. $200 Armored Core 5. Despite price charting says this game should be being sold roughly around for $35. That's quite insane. So yeah, if you guys are at all interested in this series, if you know your local store or any place that has these games that are like at these price points here on price charting, maybe like cheaper for the PS1s here, but especially for these on PS3, if if you're curious about this series, it is best you pick them up right now because I'm pretty sure that I knew it was going to happen too, though, is that all these games, they are just going to go up in value now. Or unless maybe a month from now, like more copies are showing up here, therefore hype is dying down, that like all the people that really, really wanted to try these games now after learning about it for the first time, then maybe more will start showing up and not at insane prices like this right here. But, we'll have to wait and see with how that turns out here. But, let's say that they do stay at these price points right here. And as I stated earlier, they made 14 games in this series so far, and 6 is going to be the 15th entry. If they stay at these price points for all of those entries, let's say, you're going to be spending more money than this game right here. This right here, this game, it's Kuwana. I'm sure you can tell by the name there, but if you're familiar with this game, this is From Software's most valuable game they have made so far. Also, side note, thanking to my family for buying this copy for me earlier this year. But, like if all the Armored Core games stay at the new prices that are showing up on eBay now, you pay that for every single entry, you're going to be paying way more money than this game right here. And that really scares me because I do want to get all these games right here. I only have one of them, and that is Armored Core 4. At the same store that I got Armored Core 4, they do have Verdict Day there, which I'm actually going to call them tomorrow. I was like, hey, if you still have it, can you put it off on the side for me, please, whenever I do visit here later this week? Because, I don't want to miss out on it, potentially, if prices do stay like this here. So yeah, that's gonna be that. Just wanted to let you guys be aware of this series because I know there is a lot of From Software fans out there nowadays, especially with the big success that Elden Ring has had. That just as stated, make sure you strike sooner rather than later if you are interested in these games. So. Yeah, there you go, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe for more content like this in the future, and do share this with others as well in case they are interested in this series as well, too, to keep spreading the awareness, in case they know any copies that they have recently seen and they're still available and still below all these recent eBay pricing. Like, best to have them like pick it up right away, or else they are so gonna regret it later on for not doing it. So, all right, guys, enjoy your day and good night.